Hey, I'm Kayla. Welcome back to my channel. I can't believe we are almost at the end of 2024. Today, I'm bringing you my 10 before the end of 2024, and that is my 10 reading recommendations I'm going to try to get to before the end of the year is upon us. Let's go. I am a holiday person. My tree went up the second week of November. I have already started reading Christmas books, and Hallmark movies are constantly playing in the background of our house. We are absolutely ready. I've rounded up 10 books that I really think I can finish before the end of the year. And it's a mix of physical books, books on Kindle Unlimited, and one hold I'm waiting on from Libby. I'm going to break my list down in a couple ways today. I'm going to let you know what books Roman's going to join us. Come on, come on. I'm going to break my... Sit down now. Go sit. I'm going to group them by genre. And then I'm going to tell you whether or not this is one of the books in my Christmas Advent. And just a little bit about my Christmas Advent. There's a whole video going up. I'm making my own Christmas themed Advent with physical books I have in my own TBR lying around the house. Because I did some looking around and some searching, and I realized that I have so many books here that I haven't read, and before I add any more to my collection, I need to do some reading. So today I have 3 Christmas books, 3 books that are romantasy based. That was my new genre of the year, and I want to finish out strong with a couple picks. Then I have 2 books that have elements of magical realism in them, and then finally 2 anticipated releases for 2024. I'm going to start off with my Christmas reads because I am just really in the season. I do have to admit, our tree went up the second week of November. It is November 22nd right now. I am actively planning the menu for Thanksgiving while reading Megan Quinn's How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. So I have my red, green, and white clothing pulled from my closet for next week when I travel up north. We're all set. This is a house that celebrates Christmas as long as we can. So these are 3 Christmas books I'm reading this season, but I'm definitely going to try to sneak in some more as well. I'm going to start off with 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. I read my first Morgan Elizabeth book earlier this year, The Passenger Princess, and I honestly felt like that book was written for me. Like, I loved it. It was so good. So, I've seen people say really good things about this book. After a big breakup, our female main character, Abby, formulates the perfect plan to get back at her ex. She'll start dating his boss and get invited to the end of the year holiday party. But once her relationship with said boss, Damien, turns into something more, she doesn't know if she can follow through with her plan. This is a grumpy sunshine, spicy, age gap story, and this is on Kindle Unlimited. It's already downloaded on my Kindle, and I'm going to start it once I'm done with the Megan Quinn book. Next up is one I haven't seen talked about on booktube, bookstagram, or book talk, but I found it on the romance books subreddit page. Shout out to them. They're amazing. And this is Christmas in Coconut Creek by Carissa Kinward. I've never heard of Carissa Kinward, but this is a Christmas story based in Florida. And I am based in Florida, so this is a must read for me this year. Ophelia is an elementary school teacher in Colorado, and she decides for the holidays this year she's gonna skip out on her own family but go to the Sunshine State with her roommate instead. And while she's there, she meets a retired fighter pilot who's in this rut of his own. They formulate a friendship and decide to make a plan. Ophelia is going to help him. She's going to teach him how to date, and he is going to teach her exactly what she should be demanding behind closed doors. So, Florida, dual POV, spicy, I think it's an age gap. I'm still here for it. Very much here for it. Very excited. That is another one that is available on Kindle Unlimited. My last Christmas book is one of my physical books, and this is one of the books that is wrapped under my tree for my Christmas Advent. This is A Holly Jolly Ever After by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I picked this one up at Target. It looks so cute. It is two former child stars. They starred in something together. They have taken different paths in life. Our male main character, Callum, was in a boy band. He's now retired. He's back in his hometown. He has a pizza shop that's opened, rocking a dad bod, just kind of doing his life things. Winnie thought she did everything right. She avoided the pitfalls of adolescent stardom. She married her high school sweetheart. She waited till marriage to lose her virginity, but her marriage has now fallen apart. She's in the midst of a divorce and she's ready. She needs to redefine herself. She's ready for something new. Both Callum and Winnie end up starring in a Hallmark Christmas movie together, but Winnie finds herself unable to fake pleasure on screen that she's never experienced in real life. Like, what? Okay, sure. So Callum has a sex tape that goes public, and Winnie decides that there's no one better to teach her these things than Callum. This is very much giving friends to lovers. It's a dual POV. I'm guessing it's going to be spicy if they talk about his sex tape on the back. So this will be a first read for me. This is actually the second book in a series of theirs, but they are independent standalones, interconnected standalones. There we go. That's the word. And yeah, it has been wrapped under my tree for a few weeks now since my partner got it for me. So let's hope I pick it quick because I think I'll be in the mood for it. I'm ready. Next up, I have two books that have elements of magical realism in them. And there are two physical books that I have, and so they are both under my tree. And both of these books are a part of my Christmas Advent. Starting off with Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I picked this book up at Barnes & Noble for my birthday haul. It is beautiful. It has blue sprayed edges, but admittedly, every single time I look at or get ready to think about this book, I forget what it's about. I've looked it up several times now, but I think I got it. This is Sam and Sadie. These are two friends who are often in love but never lovers. This book spans over 30 years time, and Sam and Sadie are video game developers. So they find success and fame, but within that, joy, tragedy, duplicity, and almost a kind of immortality with the way their video game interacts, or with the way their video game allows them to experience life. I think this is a really good one I want to get it off my shelf, but also there's something so special about this time of year. I think a book with magical realism in it is just gonna hit a little harder. Just gonna enjoy it a little more. So we'll see. The second book I have with that element of magical realism is The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This one's super interesting. It's a overworked publicist falls in love with her temporary roommate, and it's this apartment that takes them 7 years in the past. So I've heard really wonderful things about this one. I think it's her aunt's apartment. I heard it's a tearjerker. I'm an emotional reader, so we'll see. I'm guessing I'll cry, but just really looking forward to taking this one on. I picked this one up earlier this year at Target. This was one of the, I think it was like a buy two get one book. Okay, for my 3 romantasy books, I have a little explaining to do. I ended up with a copy of Nightbane. And if you know, you know. Nightbane is actually the second book in the Lightlark series by Alex Astor. The third book just came out. It's called Sky Shade. I was so excited to get into it, but Walmart ended up giving me the Nightbane copy instead of Lightlark in my grocery order. So I didn't want to return Nightbane, but I also wasn't ready to purchase another book. So I have a holdout on Lightlark on Libby, and Nightbane is wrapped under the tree, waiting for me to open it, but hopefully not before I get to the Libby book. That'd be bad. And I don't know much about Lightlark other than it's an island. The island, every 100 years, this island comes to host the Centennial, which is a deadly games. 6 realms are invited to play, and it gives them one person a chance to break the curses that have plagued their realms for centuries. And our female main character here is Isla Crown, and she's the young ruler of Wildling, a realm of temptresses cursed to kill anyone they fall in love with. Isla is going to be fighting to hopefully break that curse. Interesting. So I have the holdout. I'm like the next in line for the singular copy of Lightlark, so I should have it within 2 weeks, and we'll just hope I don't pick that one in my advent. The third romantasy book I have on my to read list is The Trial of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Tooley, and I'm a little upset with myself because Nisha J. Tooley was actually at one of the bookstores that I like to frequent. She did a signing at Spellbound a few months ago, maybe 2 months ago. And when I was there, they still had some of her signed copies of Trial of the Sun Queen, and I didn't pick them up. And then I went back and they were gone. Of course they were gone. It makes a lot of sense. These ones are on Kindle Unlimited, so that is how I'm going to read them, but I'm going to keep my eye out to see if she ends up coming back, because that'd be cool. This series is ongoing. The 4th book is actually coming out next week. Like, it's very, very close, which is why this one has been on my TBR for a while. This was one of the first things I put on my TBR when I started reading Romantasy. This is a Bachelor meets the Hunger Games. There are 10 women. It's a deadly contest. It's games and trials. And our female main character, Lore, is entered into this competition even though she shouldn't be. But now that she's in, she can't get out and she has to win to keep her life. I'm so ready for this. So ready. So, like I mentioned, there are 4 books in the series. The first 3 are all on Kindle Unlimited right now, and by the end of the month, the 4th will be out. Oh, finally. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anticipated releases. Oh my goodness, I excited Roman too much with anticipated releases. So the two books I have flagged for anticipated releases are both exciting books to read because they're series that I absolutely love. One I discovered years ago and one I discovered this year. So I'll start off with the one I discovered years ago, and that is the Fallen Crest High series by Tejan. What's so special about this series is that it's one I've always loved. In the past, I really haven't done too many rereads of books, but this is a series I've reread several times. There's just something about the characters, there's something about the Fallen Crest, which is the location. Tejan has just created this series that feels like absolute home. So far there are 7 books in the main series, but when you count novellas, other books, books that include characters, books that include Fallen Crest as the location, there are 23 books in the Fallen Crest universe series. I've read the first main 7 so many times, but I haven't read a lot of the other books. When the 7th one came out in 2017, it is very much like the end of an era, and the end of an era. All the books are about the same couple. It's about Sam and Mason, and this is like the book 7 was like the quintessential end to their story. It was fantastic. It was so good, and it ended in a place where you didn't think you were gonna get anything else. That was back in 2017. So, color me absolutely surprised when this year I get back into reading so hard and I find out that Tejan is releasing a new Fallen Crest book this year. And not like a Fallen Crest in the universe about other people. Like, we are going back to Sam and Mason. Oh, we are going right back to Fallen Crest, the location itself. There has been a giant, there's been a time jump. So the coolest thing for me is that this book came out of nowhere. And maybe it didn't, but it did for me. So it feels so cool. So this book is Kade by Tejan. It comes out December 17th. I have myself on the ARC list. I'm hoping, but if I don't, I'm absolutely going to purchase it. I own them all on Kindle, and then I started buying physical copies this year. I have the first physical copy of Fallen Crest High. And if you liked the Boys of Tommen series, I really think you should give this one a try. I read Boys of Tommen earlier this year, which leads to my second release, which is Taming 7. So when I read the Fallen Crest series, or when I read the Boys of Tommen series earlier this year, it made me really excited to get back to reading Fallen Crest because I just felt like it was Shannon and Sam, our two female main characters, have so many similarities. They go through a lot of similar-ish storylines, but they're both characters who you can't underestimate. They don't let their situation break them, and they're not always strong, put together, but they always fight for what they need. I just love them. Love them, love them, love them. So I've been sitting on Taming 7. I read the other 4 books in the Boys of Tommen series because when you read the Boys of Tommen, you understand saving and keeping are redeeming and keeping. 2 and 4 and 2 and 4 end in the same spot, and after all the trauma of all the other books, I honestly wanted to leave our characters in a happy spot. That goes for both Shannon and Johnny and Joey and Effie. All 4 of them. So this next book continues on the timeline that we left and follows Gibbsy and Katie. Is that her name? Yeah, Katie. And it's funny because when I was reading Boys of Tommen, Gibbsy provides this really great light commentary, but I haven't heard good things about this book, which is making me a little nervous to read it. There's also no release date for the next one, which makes me even more nervous. This is a Friends to Lovers story, and I don't believe this one is on Kindle Unlimited, unfortunately. But I ended up buying a physical copy, and I am going to wrap it for my Christmas Advent. That's going to be my 5th Advent book. Thanks for hanging out with me today. What is on your 10 before the end of 2024 list? And do you think I'm going to take these ones down? Or will I inevitably get distracted by some other books and read those instead? I have a feeling that with these ones, I'm going to end up doing a post-Christmas reading push. But we'll see. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great day.